We're all right. So yeah, we got people coming over for this morning conversation. Well, this conversation will be a little bit different because today I have decided not to only talk about the English language itself, but actually I'm going to use English so that I can reach out to more people. Most of the people that follow me here, they know English or they are learning English, which means that if I speak in English, it would be okay for most of these people. Also, I have some Brazilian people following me here and people from all over the world. And well, I'm very grateful for having so many people following me here. And, we have been building this beautiful community, and this community has shared so much with one another and so much with me. So I'm grateful for having you guys here. There's an issue that, I have been thinking about for quite a long time, because this is something that happens to me. This is something that I have experienced it myself, and I would like to share that with you from a perspective which you might not have because you're not like that. So, this conversation will be about racism and those issues regarding race and color of your skin. So, if you guys want to hear a deeper perspective of what this topic is all about, stay here. If you're not willing to have a conversation about this, you know what to do. Just get out. You don't need to be here. So, this is a simple conversation from a perspective that you might not have. So, I'm going to start addressing this issue with a simple question, which is: have you ever been stripped of your rights or your, I would say, your abilities or your capacities because of your skin color? Have you ever? So I know that what I'm trying to say is that not only black people suffer with prejudice, not only black people. So there are some other kinds of people or other color skins that would suffer racism in some extent in life. So I'm not saying that racism is something that's exclusive for black people. It's regarding black, brown people. It's regarding, I remember when I was in Hong Kong, people did not really like the darker skinned Asian people, like people from the Philippines, for example. People in Hong Kong would look down on them because of the skin color. So, all right. So from my perspective and from my own experience is very simple. I have lived this 34 years listening to all kinds of stuff regarding my race, regarding my skin color, regarding the texture of my hair, regarding how big my nose or my lips are. So this has happened because this system has designed or has been designed something has been designed to look at this kind of people and make them feel inferior or make them feel ugly because of their appearance. So I grew up listening things like, your hair is not beautiful, you should make it this way or that way, which was interesting because that was something that people would make me look whiter. You know what I mean? So it's just like my hair would not be good that way, but it would be okay if I had straightened it. if I had straightened it, and that would be okay. Or I would also say that my lips were too big. When I was a kid, all the other kids would say, "Oh, your lips are too big." Oh, and then I hated my mouth for a long time. And also, they talked about my nose. They said, "Oh my God, your nose is too big. You should not have a nose like that." So that for a kid is kind of complicated. I mean, I grew past that. I mean, I don't look at myself and call myself ugly anymore. I don't see myself as an ugly person. But for a long period of my life, I have believed that the way I looked was wrong, or the way I looked was not supposed to exist. And that is really funny in a way. But as I told you before, this is not exclusive for black people. It's not. It's also for, brown people, some of the Chinese people, some of the Southeast Asian people, Indian people. All these people, they suffer somehow. What we know is that there are different kinds of people, but there isn't one specific people that is correct or more beautiful or more important than the other. Simple as that. Why am I saying this? Because, the society we have is a contract. The contract you have in the society. So when you're born, you're born in a family. And this family will teach you how to deal with the world around you based on this previous contract. You have not chosen to live your life the way you do. We think we do, but, you haven't chosen that. First is because some people taught you. Some people have taught you throughout your life how to deal with problems, how to deal with school, how to deal with your food. For example, people here in Brazil, they believe that they have to eat rice and beans every day. If they don't eat rice and beans, they feel like they haven't had food. They are not doing it correct. So it's all about the diet. And this is something that, I was born here in Brazil. So somehow I believe that was correct. But then when I moved to the United States, I realized that they didn't eat rice and beans every day. And that was one of the questions I had, which was like, why do I eat rice and beans every day in Brazil if this is not even necessary? Then I moved all the way to China. When I was in China, I was living in Hong Kong. And then in Hong Kong, people did not eat all those things like pizza, burgers. They didn't eat those. They ate sushi, which is a Japanese food. They ate different kinds of fish. They drank tea. Every time we would have lunch, we would have tea. And they also eat rice. But they had beans on the ice cream. And that brought me to another question, which was, hold up. This combination of rice and beans is something that has been taught. That's something that's cultural. It's not the reality. So then I thought, wow. Okay, so everything that I have thought to be correct, it's not actually correct or incorrect. This is all about something that somebody taught me. And then I made that correct. I was like, wow, okay, so pretty much what we know as right and wrong is not actually right or wrong. It's just something that is, well, this is right for this contract in the society, and this is not right for this contract in the society. And then I thought, it's going to be difficult to judge people. Because when you judge people, you have to judge based on a certain contract, on a certain law. But does this law apply for everybody? And does this contract benefit everybody? Interesting. So growing up as a black man or a brown man here in Brazil has taught me lessons that the white people in Brazil would never have been taught, because they're not brown or they're not black. The same thing happens for me trying to be white. What the white person has been taught or has lived, I cannot talk about it because I'm not a white person. You know what I mean? It's just like when I see a person that has never been in my shoes. You have never walked in my shoes before. You have no idea what it is to be brown or black in this country. And then you try to teach me how to react to racism against my color, against my kind of complexion. You are just telling me that you think you know it. You're just telling me that you think you're smarter, you think you know better, but you don't, because you have never experienced that. It's the same thing. All respect to the women in here. So there are many women following me here. Imagine if I walked up to a woman, and then I said to her, you know what? I know what you've been through. I know that you have the cramps every month when you have the menstruation season. I know you have the period. And you know what you have to do? You have to do this, this, and that. Women would look at me and say, man, you don't have a period. You have no idea what this is about. So what are you talking about? Where are you speaking from? What is your experience? You don't have this experience. And this is something that is difficult for people to understand, because they want to talk. They want to tell you what to do all the time. This is wrong. You should not do that. This is how you should do. But who are you to tell me that? Who are you to tell people what they should do if you have never lived that experience? You've never had this experience before. So where are you speaking from? Are you speaking from your experience? Are you speaking from your passion? Are you speaking from what you can see on TV and what you have read on the news or on a newspaper, on a magazine? So what is exactly your experience to talk about something? So my final message is very simple. Whenever you see, just like you know what's going on in the United States right now. George Floyd has been killed by a white man, by the police. If you're not American like me, don't even judge the protesters. You don't even understand. You're not American. You have no idea what Americans have been through. You have no idea what is to be a black American. I don't have that idea. I'm not American. I don't know the black American. I don't know them. I've been with them. I've lived around them. And you know what I did? I've learned from them. I stopped thinking and I just received that information they had, because they had a lot of information that I had no idea of. So what I'm trying to say is that don't even judge people because of the way they think or because of the way they're reacting to something that they have lived. You don't have to agree with everything that they've done. You don't have to agree with what they are doing. Actually, for many things, I don't agree. I really don't. So many of the protests that are happening in the United States of America today, I don't agree. I'll just say, no, man, that is wrong. But that is wrong based on my contract with society, not on theirs. So don't judge those people based on your contract, because this is only your contract. This is not everybody else's contract. You know what I mean? So don't spit the truth on people like, oh no, this should be like this because this is right and this is wrong. Who are you to tell what's right and wrong? Who are you? You're just another person. You're just like me. Who are you to tell me if I'm right or wrong? Who are you to tell me? You don't walk on my shoes. You don't walk. You know what I mean? So what am I trying to say with this is that, all right, I do have a point of view, but look at what the language tells you. That's a point of view. That's a point of view. And that's only this point. And if you're looking at situation from this point, this is all you can see. If you look at a situation from that point, you don't even see anything. Can you see my hands right now? You don't see it because this is a point of view. This is not the truth. So don't go around spitting the truth onto people because that is only your personal experience. All right. So having said that, I would like to address this issue. So here in Brazil, women have been begging for respect. They have been begging for having a better society for them. They have been begging for you to understand that they have suffered things that you haven't, that I haven't, because I'm not a woman. When I have to go out, I don't need to worry about my clothes. I don't need to worry about being raped by an asshole. I don't have to be worried about this because I'm not the type of person that gets raped on the streets. But my girlfriend can be. My girlfriend can be raped. So she's worried about that. So when my girlfriend speaks about sexism, I listen to her. You have to understand, because I don't have this experience. I don't have it. She does. So if you really want to know how a black person should react or act towards something that happens to them, go talk to them. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to what they have experienced and try to understand why some act this way or act that way. Don't judge people. Don't judge their action based on your contract. This is ignorant. This is innocent. This is naive. And this is very, very selfish. If you think that your truth is the truth of the world, you are a selfish person. All you think about is yourself and how you should, people should act this way because I think this is right. So, man, it's just like, that's crazy. The point I'm trying to get across with is that you can have an opinion. Definitely you can. You have the right to say pretty much whatever you want. But you know that whatever you say, you will get reactions, you'll get consequences. So you should be self-responsible. You should be responsible for what you speak. You should be responsible for what you do. But don't judge people, man. Don't judge people. It's like, oh, black people are breaking everything on the streets right now. So, question I have is, why do black people in the United States have to follow a contract if the contract that they have signed has been broken so many times, years and years, again and again? Why do they have to follow? Why do they have to follow the same things like, oh, they should protest like Martin Luther King did in 1963, 64, 65. Oh, I've seen the march. I've seen the march in Washington, D.C. Oh, really? Okay, you've seen the march in Washington, D.C. That was 50 years ago. That was 50, 60 years ago. That's not today. I mean, that's not today. So if people are reacting or acting a certain way, they might have a reason for it. And you are not in the position to judge if the way they act or react is right or wrong. You're not in this position to judge. So that is the real talk of today. But remember, this is only an opinion I have. I'm not right or I'm not wrong. This is just my point of view. Simple as that. Point of view does not mean anything. It means my point of view. Some people might look at the facts based on my point of view. Some people have a different point of view, which is okay. It is okay to have a different point of view. It is okay. And yes, I mean, if you want to go on and call people right or wrong, just do it. Go on and call people right or wrong. But you don't have the right to tell them what to do based on your concepts. As simple as that. I mean, how come you're going to say this is right or this is wrong, and then you go there and try to stop them? You don't have this right to do it because you're just another person. Simple as that. So, all right. So this is my point of today. And let me read a couple comments in here. If you guys have questions, we're going to answer questions. So let me just read here. Many people talking today. And it says, but I'm really concerned about what is happening. And I'm really sorry for family that is crying the brutal death of son. And really sorry for it. Yeah, I'm sorry for that too. You know, black people have been killed for many years. I mean, my ancestors, my great-grandmother was a slave here in Brazil. So that somewhat affects me today because my great-grandmother taught my grandmother how to act, and my grandmother taught my mom, and my mom taught me, my dad taught me. So that is a chain that affects many generations. And I'm sure it's going to affect my children because they will understand where they come from in terms of their ancestors. And society will teach them differently. And he will have to make his own point of view. He will have to make the decisions, what he's going to believe, how he's going to act. People to this day believe that America has been discovered by Christopher Columbus. People in Brazil still believe that Pedro Álvares Cabral discovered this country. And my question is, how come you believe that somebody discovered a country that when you get there, there are people living in there? So nobody discovered shit. You got stole it. Simple as that. Portuguese people came to Brazil and stole the land. Killed people who owned this land and stole it and said, we discovered it. Same thing happened in America. Same thing happened in America. But based on this, I'm going to discover your car today. And then when the cops come and say, you stole this car. I said, nope, I discovered it. I discovered this car. I opened it. I killed the driver. And now it's my car. I didn't steal that shit. I discovered it. So, you know, there are a lot of lies being told out there by many people. And this happens because in our history, we want to show to the world that white people have built everything. They have built so many things. But what about the other people that have built so many other things too? Do you hear about them? You don't. You know, because people that write the history books are the ones that won the war, are the ones that survived. People who have fought the wars and died, they don't have a chance to write the history books because they're dead. So the story gets told by people who survived. So The history is a point of view. Your history books talking about slavery have not been written by black people. Your history books talking about slavery have not been written by slaves. They have been written by people who are not slaves. They were slave holders, maybe, slave masters, or they just heard about what slavery was all about. So be extra careful when you say that. I know slavery. I studied. I read the books. Okay. It's just like when you know something like, we know about women. Come on, man. We know about women. You are... All right. So let's say every month you have one season that's called period, which means that the blood will come out of you through your vagina, and that's called menstruation season. That's the period. I heard about it. I heard that this is when your uterus is being renovated for you to be able to reproduce. I heard about it. I heard also that there is a period of time, a certain period of time, that women are more likely to be pregnant because the hormones or something else happening in there that's easier for the person to get pregnant at that certain moment. You know why I know this? Because I had classes in school. But I've never been pregnant, and I will never be pregnant. So what you know about pregnancy, man, is what you heard, is what you read about. You don't have this experience. You cannot talk about pregnancy with all your knowledge because you don't have all the knowledge. You have never experienced this, and you will never experience this. So wait and listen from a person that's been pregnant before. The person that has this experience. And then you listen, you learn, and then if you need the help, you do it. Simple as that. But you don't have this experience. So the same thing goes. Men talking about women. You're not a woman. You don't know how that is. Blacks talking about whites and Latinos. Black man, you're not white or Latino. You don't know their reality. White people talking about black people. White people, you don't know what it is to be black. So stop talking. You don't even know what that is. And that goes for everybody. But look at this. We are adults. We can talk about children, right? Because we have been one. We have walked in those shoes. Every adult has been a child. That's the reason why I can teach a child based on experience. But you cannot teach a black man based on experience if you're not black. Get the point? Does that ring a bell? You cannot teach a woman how to be a woman if you have never been a woman before. You understand the point? So, all right, that's it for today, man. I know I've talked a lot, but this topic has actually gotten on my nerve because of some of the comments I received. Saying that people are wrong for doing this or people are right for doing this. It's like, man, who are you to tell people if they are right or wrong? You're not in the position to judge like that. So, all right. So let me see what else we got here. The word must rise and start again. Jewish plots all around the world. Some people talking about Jewish. Dr. David Duke's Jewish supremacist is the best documented Jewish tyranny all around the world. The history is mixed with the truth and untrue. Yes, when I'm reading about killing millions of Africans, red Indians by the white man destroyed their civilization, life, and their grandsons continue killing. Nice talk. Thank you. While you lived in Houston, you ever say people looking down on you? Not really. I mean, sometimes actually, I saw people that wouldn't get connected with me, but maybe it's because they didn't know who I was. But then later they started get connecting with me. History is written and arranged by Zionist Jews. Okay, America government is killing black community, and India government is killing skirt community. And why aren't you an American citizen? I'm from the United States, not from America itself. The history goes beyond the history. Yeah, fantastic topic. Somebody. All right, cool. All right, so we've got conversation in here, and all right, so this is the topic for today. I know this is real. I know this is a kind of conversation that we would be able to be talking here for a long time, but I decided to talk just for this little amount of time because I know you have something to do. I do have something to do as well. And yeah, so thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the topic, and I'll see you on the flip side. Holla.